How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are doing all right tonight. Can you guys hear me all right? Put this like this. Oh, yeah, perfect. We'll give it a couple minutes and let everybody come on, and hope everybody's doing wonderful. Jesus, how you doing? Wheelie Wednesday, huh? You guys like that one? We got so much snow yesterday, I wasn't able to do two-stroke Tuesday. I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Got all the snow picked up. We got 18.3 inches. So did a lot of snow removal and oh man, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Man, I'll tell you what, it's just been crazy. Crazy, crazy weather. Crazy. And now we get some more coming. Supposedly. I don't know. We'll see. See how it goes. But man, I'll tell you, oh, gotta love New England, guys. New England. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, you guys get 60. Yeah. Wow. It's crazy. Just crazy. And it's like winter all at once. Boom. Next thing you know, we go, wow. 25 to 30. Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, you're lucky, Ryan. You're lucky. Rub it in. Rub it in. I'd rather be on a bike. Wow. Yeah, I would love to see that. Nova Scotia. My mom, that was one of her bucket list dreams to go to Nova Scotia. So that's pretty cool. But man, I'll tell you. Whew, man. So what you guys up to? You guys been working on some good bikes? You guys been turning wrenches in this crazy weather we're having? I haven't been outside. I've been doing everything in the house, just trying to get everything prepped up and get parts ordered and yada yada yada. You know how it is. And then we'll be back out in the back in the shed this week. So thank God for that. I miss that. I miss turning wrenches. Too cold out there. Nice, right in the living room. I type of guy right there. That's what we do. Right, I put the bike right on the kitchen table. I don't care. Oh, nice. Yeah, get those sleds out there. I really don't like the winter. I gotta be honest with you. Well, this is one of the companies I used to work for. I kept the Sure Dead River company. I used to deliver home heating oil. Drive a big old truck and pull the hose and fill up your house with oil, and then yeah, I've been outside all winter long. I don't like the winter. I hate it. I hate it. Don't like the winter. So yeah, looking forward to spring and start getting my bikes all out there and get them stretching their wheels and tires and what have you, and stretching out the spokes. You know what I mean? Getting them all out there and riding them all majestically. How you doing? Yeah, it's a good one. I can't wait. I am super excited to get all my bikes up and going. Been working on the Z50 in the house because it's small and I can work on it in the house, and which is one of the topics I want to talk to you guys a little bit about tonight. And it's about small things and resources. So these are a good couple of things I got going on tonight. I want a couple of conversations, and later on I have a special guest to bring on as well. So it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, so we got some stuff going on. So working on, as you guys saw, I've been having some video problems, and I was trying to figure out why is my thing not recording when I'm recording it. And I just recorded. I saw it come on. It said recording, and then nothing happened. My SD card was bad. What do you use to clean female electrical connections? All right, you ready for this one? I'm going to tell you a specialty toolkit that you can use to clean your connectors. There it is. A gun cleaning kit. Yep. They have the best wire brushes that you can possibly imagine. The 22 gauge rifle cleaning kit has it's 22 gauge, and it gets right into those little bullet connectors, and the female, into the female ones to clean them out. And to I use Scotch Brite, or I use oh, what do you call that type of emery cloth to clean up the male ends. And I use a dielectric grease, plug them right in. It works great. Yeah, gun cleaning kits, guys. The 12 gauge shotgun. Here's a tip for you. That 12 gauge shotgun wire brush is great for cleaning light sockets. Where you put your marker lights in, and that also helps prevent it cleans up the ground, and it is great for if you ever have your directionals and you turn your directional on and you see the other one starting to blink a little bit. That's because that wire is trying to find the ground. When you clean up your sockets with the shotgun wire brush, it's a brass, so it doesn't destroy anything. You put it right on the end of your drill, and zip, done. Little WD-40, oh, works great. So, oh, you're welcome. All right, I'll talk to you later. But yeah, no, that's great. The Yeah, those are what I use to clean up electrical connectors. Is gun cleaning kits, and you can buy them anywhere. Well, yeah, sporting goods now it's kind of hard because of all the gun thing going on, but you can order them on eBay. The gun cleaning kits, or you can buy just the wire brushes. You don't need a whole kit, but you can buy the replacement shotgun and 22 caliber gun cleaning kits. They work out great. So those are really the two you need: the 22 and the shotgun, the 12 gauge, and you'll be able to clean up your electrical sockets and all that. See, there you go, Jesus. It works out great. Yeah. Don't ever say you have a gun nowadays. Jeez, just don't do it. I got a flare gun. That's what I got. But yeah, bring it right over here, buddy. I'll fill that up for you. Um, Give my little guy a drink here. Um, but yeah, no, it works out pretty well. It's a little thing I use. WD-40 works great with those wire brushes. So, and you can use dielectric grease on the sockets themselves as well. So that's going to keep them protected. That keeps the condensation, the moisture, and stuff out of them. So works out pretty well. You learn these little tips and tricks. I've been when it comes to electrical, I've been doing it for so long, and talking with so many different people and trying different techniques. That's the one I find works. You all right, buddy?
It hurts.
Oh, don't.
I had a little watery.
Okay, yeah, don't try blowing it. Try blowing your nose. Sorry about that, my little guy. So yeah, that's what I use to clean up electrical connectors. They do make a spray cleaner. It's like $8 a can. You don't need it. Don't waste your money on that. Um, and what was the other thing I wanted to say? Right, there was hold on one second. What's that?
It's making my eye like little.
You're gonna have to just deal with it, buddy.
I don't know.
Sorry, my little guy's having some issues that are nothing you can do anything about. So, but I want to talk to you guys about the Z50, okay, and a little bit about how I evaluate bikes. So this is going to help all you guys out. The first thing when I'm working on a bike is I want to bring the bike back to its factory condition, or as close to it as possible. So what I do is I go on Google. I don't really work on the Z50s all that often. I am familiar with them. I always wanted one as a kid. I've seen a bunch of them, but I want to show you guys a little bit. So I go on Google and I print off pictures of bikes. Okay, so this is a Z50, like exactly like the one I'm working on right here. And you probably see yourself, why is that important? This is important because I can look at this is a fully restored Z50. I can look at the Z50 and see what I am missing, okay, and what is correct and what is incorrect. Now, I want to show you guys something. On this Z50 right here, this is the arm right here that I straightened out on my last video there with the SD card that was bad. Okay, it had a little arm sticking up with a hole in it. And all my bikes have that hole too, but that hole is for a brake light switch. Looking at this Z50, you can't really see it too well, just because it's a photo and it's on camera. But there is a spring that goes on there up to the chassis. So I didn't realize this, but my bike was actually missing the spring. So that's one of the things I had to go ahead and order. So I went ahead and ordered that spring. And that same hole is also used for a brake light switch. Now, all brake arms would have a spring on them somewhere to help, take the pressure off of it. It doesn't rely on the back spring on the brake arm to bring it back to where it's supposed to float. So these are some of the resources that I use when I'm looking at a bike. I like to evaluate it. So if you're going to go and look at a bike, whether it be a KE100 or we'll say a KD80, a KV75, um, a, a trail, one of these little Z50s, go online, look at the pictures of the bikes, see what's there, what the bike is supposed to look at. Either A, do it on your phone and screenshot it, or kind of take a mental note. So what I call money pots, and I brought this up several times, but I wanted to really get in depth with it a little bit more. Things that are money parts are like these covers here, the pegs, the fenders, the tail lights, the headlight assembly, the gas caps. These things are all what I call money parts. All right. So whenever you're working on any bike, doesn't matter what bike it is, try to go on like you see what's on there. Okay, like my bike was missing the air filter clamp. Um, things of that nature. It's in the small things. Okay, a bike not necessarily all the big stuff is important, but the small things are what adds up. What brings you a lot of money. Okay, like you'll see people and they'll take the air filter box off, they'll take the tail light off, and they'll take a few other little things off the bike and they'll sell them separately because they want to get the most out of their money. So they'll sell you the bike and then you'll see these parts on eBay or Amazon or places like that. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that your bikes that you when you're looking at the bikes that they're complete. All right, that is very, very important. A complete bike is really what's going to do it for you. Okay. Um, money parts are expensive, so when you're buying these things and you're doing these things, you want to make sure like these covers, these side covers, are all there because they'll take a bike that's all stripped down and they'll try to get like 2 grand for the bike, and the bike is not worth 2 grand. So this is what I was talking about in my last week's session. Like this side cover here, that's an expensive cover. So keep that type of stuff in mind when you're looking or evaluating a bike and you want to purchase a bike. What am I getting into? What am I dealing with? I ran into this when I bought my KV75. I really didn't know much about it at the time, what I was looking at, um, and I wanted to make sure that the money stuff was there, and it wasn't. I didn't realize how much that air filter was. It was like $300 for that air filter assembly. It was like, whoa, oh my god, that's crazy stuff. So, how you doing, Larry? Um, you want to make sure. And the other thing people do, okay, which is this is a big thing coming up now, is knock off parts. All right. So when you buy a bike and it's got a whole bunch of Chinese parts on it, they may look original, but they really do drive the price of the bike down, especially for a collector. So if you're looking to get a bike and see that chain guard right there, that chain guard on this Z50 is like $150, maybe a little bit more. They make that same thing in reproduction, okay? And it's China. That drives the bike down. It's not original. So what I try to do is I try to get all factory stuff. Some things you just can't get factory. But if you're patient and you don't mind waiting, you can get factory stuff. Now, on my Z50 so far, everything on the bike is 100% Z50 American, not American, Japanese. The fender was what do you call it? A new old stock that I bought for it. So you can really get into those. You can really lose your head on these things. So make sure what you're looking at for a bike when you're evaluating it, it's 100%. Because I saw a bike the other day on Craigslist, and they had what's it, Kimco motor on it. It was a 125cc, and it was on a Honda, and they wanted like 2,500 bucks for the bike. And it's like, it's not worth 120. It's not worth that. You know, where are you coming up with this money? Oh, that's what it would be. No, the motor's junk. You bought a Chinese knockoff and you put it on a Japanese bike. It's not the same. So yeah, it is. The prices, Larry, are ridiculous. You're absolutely right. Reprint, trying to get things. I mean, they're out there and they're good if that's your only thing to get the bike up and going. But when you buy a bike or you sell a bike, you have to reflect that in the price because other than that, you're just cheating people. You know what I mean? And you can plainly see that on a Japanese bike, the lines all line up. When you put Chinese parts on it, they don't quite fit right. There's just something about them. They're not quite right. Ignition problem, new plug and condenser, not OEM on eBay. Oh, here we go. That's your problem right there. New eBay coil. Okay, so okay, eBay coils on these bikes. They say they fit their universal bike coils, and it typically is it black or is it yeah being yeah it ain't gonna work. You need to get the factory grade coil, and I'm gonna tell you if it's your so you might have another issue with your bike. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to re-gap your points. Okay, the black wire from your magneto, hook it directly to the black wire on your coil. Use the factory coil. Yeah, it's black. Yep, nope. You want the gray coil. The gray coil is 6 volt. Make sure you're using the 6 volt coil on your bike because these bikes, I'll tell you right now, 30 plus years, I haven't come across a bad one. The only bad ones that I find is people cut the wires or the wires are just so fragile and cracked, but the coil has always given spark. Um, the coil really, rarely, rarely, rarely ever goes on these things. And oh, you're welcome, Larry. You want to make sure that your points are set. The book calls between 12 and 16,000. You want them in the middle of 14, and you want to make sure that your condenser is new. That when you solder it, you get that black ring in the middle, and then you solder in the center. You want to make sure that you do not have a connection going from the center of your condenser to the outer shell because that will ground out the whole system. The other thing you want to do is if you still have no spark, you want to make sure that the windings on that charge coil or the charge coil for the ignition, which would be the one with the thinner windings. So you got two lighting coils and then one that's for your ignition. You want to make sure that the grounds on that are all clean and good. Um, and you want to make sure that there's no cut marks in them because some people tend to put a screwdriver in there to hold the flywheel so they can loosen it, and that ruins them. Um, there's also a couple of little insulators on each side of that. So I'm going to be doing another. I have a bunch of requests for it to get further into ignition systems. So I'm going to do another, probably a 1 hour comprehensive ignition. I try to keep those a little shorter because I tend to lose people, but there's still a lot of problems with everything. So I'm gonna get further into the ignition system. I'm going to isolate an ignition system, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. Like I've done it before, but I'm going to do it a little differently so you guys get a better understanding on it. And I have a video about reeds coming up. It was not a request, but someone had mentioned about reeds, had a problem with reeds, and I want to touch on that as well. So we're going to be doing some other talk videos coming up that'll help you guys out with your diagnostics on your bikes. But first and foremost, unscrew everything. Unscrew your charge coils. Take some sandpaper, clean up all the grounds, and re-screw them on there. Try that. Make sure there's no cut marks in the windings. Check that. Check your points gap. And I had another question that was asked to me about points gap. Kevin, how do I gap my points? You've explained it. You've explained it. You explained it. I can't figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit real quick about that. How do I get the motor set up to gap the points? Here's what I do. I take the spark plug out, you stick your thumb over the hole, and you crank the engine over in the direction that it spins in, okay? You'll feel the engine come up on compression, and it'll blow your thumb off a little bit. You'll feel it squish out. That means you're at top dead center, okay? You want to look on your magneto, and you're going to see on your magneto, you're going to see the where your timing marks are. Rotate your flywheel in that direction until they line up. Then you're going to see in the window. So there's two windows on the flywheel. You're going to look in the top one, and you'll see your points. That's where you set your gap. You want to make sure you gap it with it while it's open. If you notice that your points are closed, rotate the flywheel a half a turn, 180 degrees, and see if they're open. If they're open, then that's where your gap is. Okay, I have seen flywheels where they're 180 out. That's okay. But you want to make sure that it's when the gap is open. I had one person losing his mind, trying to figure it out, couldn't figure it out. Kevin, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. How'd you gap it? The points were closed. I opened them up and I gapped it. And now it's not doing anything. Okay, well it was backfiring or something like that. That's when you gotta get it so it's up a compression. The timing marks have to line up, and then you gap it through that window. Try that first. Do not. I have a lot of people. Oh, we used to do it the old school way with a matchbook and blah blah blah. Nope. Get yourself a set of feeler gauges, the proper tools. Do it correctly the first time. If you incorrectly gap points, what happens is they're smacking together thousands of times. Okay, and if it's incorrectly gapped, they're going to be hitting harder. Now, a fixed timing. So you get your fixed plate. Your plate can't be adjusted like on the Suzukis. So that gap is critical. That gap is your dwell, it's your timing, it's when it fires. If your gap is too small, then it's going to go quicker. If it's too far open, then it's going to be, what do you call it there, slower. So you want to make sure. Now, the coil doesn't spark when these touch. It sparks when they open. That collapses the system. And that's what makes the coil releases its energy when that ground is broken. So you want to make sure you get that right on, because that's critical. That's your timing right there. That's your whole thing. That's just before it hits top dead center. Boom, it's going to pop. Okay. If you don't get that timing correct, your bike is not going to run correct. So you want to make sure you do that.
Can I just tape it?
Yes, you can, buddy. Try it. If not, we'll put another stick on it.
Okay.
But you want to make sure you do this correctly, because this is gonna affect how your bike works. You're welcome. Yeah, and always ask questions. I have no problem with you guys asking. You ask me many questions. People find me on Facebook, Messenger, and they ask me all the time. People call me, text me, whatever. Kevin, how are you? I'm doing good, David. Thank you. Yes, it get the manual, educate yourself. That's perfect. That's what you guys should be doing. Get whenever you get a bike, cable adjustments, where the bike is supposed to be set up. That's important because if you don't have the proper information on your bike, it's not going to perform the way it's supposed to. And then that right there is going to go and it's just gonna it's just gonna fail on you early, and it's gonna give you a really bad riding experience. And then eventually you're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna really hate the bike. And that's what I'm trying to avoid is anybody hating these bikes because they're great bikes. But I see a lot of people. How you doing, James? I see a lot of people and Michael um, trying to make these bikes motocross, and they're not motocross bikes at all. Period. So enjoy them the way they are. Get them running right, and you're gonna really enjoy the bikes. Hold on 1 second. I just gotta read this real quick.
Doesn't work.
All right. Well, I'll get another one. Yeah, I believe the G4 covers are the same. There is one set that are different, but if they all line up and match up, throw them on. Absolutely. You can't use the G4 and the G5. There was one early one when they did fit each other, but I know if it's like the Trail Boss 100 will not fit because it has. Hold on, let me start over. The chain guard side will not fit because of the shaft. And it has to have the gearbox. The difference between the two machines is, one has the gearbox, one doesn't. But the G5s, if the carburetor cover looks the same and the oil cover is the same, it should work just fine. No, what I was trying to keep going with the two-stroke Tuesdays. I'm feeling this out, see how it works. Oh, you're welcome. If you know what, that's a good question. Do you guys like Wednesdays better, or do you guys like Tuesdays better? You guys are my regulars, so put a comment down below, on the video, and just I'll read the comments after we get done doing this. So after this video is up for everybody to see, put it in the comments if you guys like Tuesdays or Wednesdays because it's easy. It don't matter to me if I do Wheelie Wednesdays or Two Stroke Tuesdays. You know, so let me know what works out good for you guys because you guys are my regulars and you guys like hanging out with me. I like hanging out with you guys, so this is our regular thing. And the more the merrier. So about to drive a new crank bearing to the case, in the freezer. Yep. Yeah, and I'll just slide all together. Yep, a lot of people do that. I don't do that, but you can do that. Um, I haven't had any bad luck with it, but on these little guys, they just tend to go together the way they are. I know on motocross bikes, James, you have to. If you're working on a KX 100, you have to freeze the bearings. Let me tell you what that does. When you freeze the bearing, it actually shrinks the bearing so it slides into the hole easier. Um, it allows you to drive it in. And then when you heat up the bearing, it expands. Oh yeah, the KE 175. Yeah, I would probably throw that in the freezer. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, the little 100s, you don't need to do that. They just kind of fall together. The KE 100 is more of a sloppier engine than the 175. And what I mean by sloppy is it has more clearance. Then the 175 is more of a tighter engine. So, like I was saying on the KX 100 engines, those things are really really tight. And if you wait a while and you don't you take it out of the freezer and just sits there for a few minutes and then you put it in, it it's like nothing ever happened. So yeah, you definitely want to do that. Comes in handy, and make sure you get that crank straight onto the bearing the first time. So um, when you hold it up, then you get the bearing down here. Don't put it in an angle. Make sure it's straight on, and then kind of work it in nicely. It should kind of slide on, but you know how that works. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, will it, Who knows? So, but yeah, definitely do that. Definitely freeze the bearings. It shrinks them, slides right in the hole. I got a how you doing, Tony? I got a what do you call it there? An engine splitting kit for splitting the cases. I'm gonna try that out on a KE 100 I have. Want to see how that works. It's pretty neat. The day is good for me, bro. All right, awesome. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, it's I was doing the snow removal, so I said, you know what, I just don't have the ability to do the two-stroke Tuesday this week. So I'm like, you know what, let's just make it Wheelie Wednesday and call it happy. So and it worked out. So I got a couple of people asking, is two-stroke Tuesday on? No, we moved it up. So just, so I want to make sure I do it, weekly because this is our time to get the stuff out there and check in, see what's going on, which really is pretty cool. Yeah, I could see if you could put a power jet in that. Yeah, the power jet is you put that on a 175, you're gonna feel that. I mean, that thing's gonna come alive. I'm pretty sure you can. The only problem is clearance issues because they got that cover that goes on them. But I'll take a look at it. And on my next, I'm gonna be working on that bike really, really soon because we gotta do a first. I mean, I did a first start on it, but I'm gonna really do a first start, like run the bike. Um, so when I do that video, I'll bring that up in there because that is a good topic on that. All right, Wednesdays work good for you. All right, well maybe we can see we can do Wheelie Wednesdays. I mean, we'll see how it goes with everything, and if we can do that in the cards, then we'll do that. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this too. Awesome, thank you, James. Yeah, that's great because I mean, I want to make sure that you guys, I'm doing this for you guys, so I want to make sure that we can all be at the same time. Um, where did the 6-volt battery test? Um, we did the 6-volt battery test, eBay coil and bus. No, no, it's what do you call it there? So the 6-volt coil, they have if you can't find it for the KE 100, try looking up for a KM 100. You have to sometimes go for the sister bikes. So I find sometimes, and I'll tell you right now, your 6-volt coil that you have is not bad. But if you do need to replace it because it might be cracked or something's going on with it, um, you can find those coils on other bikes. So like the KE 100 coil, the 6-volt coil, you can find that on a KM 100. Um, the KD the KD 80 has a different ignition coil. Looks totally different. It's black. It's smaller. It's got two smaller posts, but it will work. So that's the same coil. Suzuki AC 100s, same coil. That'll work. A lot of the Suzuki's um, have that coil. They use that same coil. So how I identify the coils is by the color. The black is 12-volt. The gray is the 6-volt. What, buddy?
I gotta clean my room.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
Can I have Alexa in there?
Yeah, go ahead. You know how to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Um, you want to make sure that you get the matching coil or a coil that's equivalent. Um, look at the magnetos on the bike. So this is what I was talking about with the Google. So what you can do, okay, is you can see um what do you call it there? An AC 100 Suzuki. Look up an ignition coil for a Suzuki. Take a picture of it. Look at it and see if it's the same one. Part numbers are going to vary, and coil length wire is going to vary. That's what separates the part numbers. So you have to do it like, well, for instance, Well, that hold on one second, guys. I can't help you, buddy. I'm doing my video, so you have to do it on your iPad. Okay. So, how I identify a CDI coil from a points coil is the CDI coil has a spade connector, where the 6 volt, points coil has a bullet connector. Same thing. So when you're dealing with coils, the gray coil is the 6 volt, the black coil is the 12. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, it literally is like a Raiders of the Lost Parts. Um, I've got parts and pieces everywhere, organized, but all over the place. I got a big what do you call it there? Big filing cabinet that has my KV75, MT1 parts, DS80, DS100, and GT80 parts in it. Then you go all back, and I got milk crates of assemblies, milk crates of air filter assemblies, milk crates of batteries boxes, milk crates of toolboxes, milk crates of cylinder heads, milk crates of clutches, milk crates of, and it just keeps going and going and going. And I asked myself the other day when I was out there, I says, Kevin, where the hell did you get all these milk crates? Like, I can honestly tell you, I have never, ever got a milk crate. I don't know where they come from. I don't know how I get so many of them. People, I think it's when people drop off parts and stuff like that, and they send me stuff or I get parts, it comes in milk crates. And it's like, I didn't realize I had so many damn milk crates. But I end up with a ton of milk crates. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Oh, Texas, 70 degrees. Oh, you're so lucky. Jeez, man. Oh, man. You guys might be getting out of the union. That'll be cool, huh? Be your own little country. You'd be a dual citizen over there if that all goes through. But seriously, though, I take apart so many bikes and, junk bikes. I pick them up free. I pay $300. I get a bike. I strip it down, put the parts and pieces here, there, and everywhere. And then what I do is when I'm looking at a bike, same thing. I evaluate from the pictures. Okay. Every bike has value. Every bike. Doesn't matter what the bike is. I mean, you can have a rusted motor that's got the cylinder missing, it's been off for 20 years, and it's just a ball of rust in it, but there's still good, valuable parts on there. So when you're looking at a bike, you got to evaluate what you have, what you're getting, and you'll be able to take those parts and pieces and use them on other builds. And that's how I get so many parts. I barter and trade for parts and things like that, so it works out pretty well. Now, it can get overwhelming. I have a plethora of parts, and I probably should do a yard sale, a parts yard sale, um, probably in the spring, and get rid of a lot of the stuff that I'm not using. But the problem is, what can you get rid of? I can't get rid of carburetors because I need them. I can't get rid of ignition systems because I need them. I do have a plethora of side covers, so I get rid of some of those. I get rid of more than half, um, and all my bikes are complete. So really, what do I need? You know what I mean? What do I need? Do I need 18 motors? No, I don't need 18 motors. So I should probably get rid of some of those. You know what I mean? But I get builds. I'm going to be doing different things with them, and the go kart, and then I got the chariot bike, and so it's like, And then of course I want to keep a motor for each one of my bikes. So if something happens, something goes, cylinders are stupid money. Um, Good running engines are crazy money. So you have to evaluate what you got. This is the same thing with you guys when you guys are at home looking at your bike. What do I need? And that's why I wanted to do this video and talk to you guys about this stuff, because you can evaluate what you need from a picture, from a photo, and then see what's missing and bring your bikes back. Yeah, those are hard to find. The 1977 K175. Um, Broaden your search. So take your KE 175, look at a KE 185, look at a KE 100 or a KE 125. See what bike has that same light. Remember this: they don't Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha do not like producing one-off bikes. It doesn't make sense financially. So what they do is they use parts and pieces from other bikes. Here's a perfect example. I was looking for a pedestal for my KE 100. That's the directional light, that little rod that sticks off. That rod, or it's called the pedestal, is used on the KLR 650 bike. It's the same mark, same directionals. So if you need directionals for a KE 100, okay, they have the black plastic ones, and you need to get them. You can get them from a KLR 650. You're like, really? Yep. Now they have a different part number, and you look at them like, it's the same light. Why does it have a different part number? Here's why it has a different part number: because it has a 12-volt light bulb, not a 6-volt light bulb. But your 6-volt light bulb will fit right into the same socket, the same wiring. It's just got a different thing because of the bulb. Same length, same color, same lens, same screws, same everything. Oh, I bet. I bet you must have a nice little community of bikers over there, especially in a place that's like Florida, Georgia, uh, all those places. Texas. It's warm weather all the time, so you guys have plenty of people to ride junkyards, motorcycle junkyards. Oh, it must be beautiful down there. So jealous. I'd be lost. I went to a motorcycle junkyard. If someone took me to a motorcycle junkyard, you'd be taking me out of there in handcuffs because I wouldn't want to leave. I just wouldn't want to. Hey, sir, we're closed. I don't care. I wouldn't want to leave. It'd be terrible. Yeah, take my money. Take it. Take all of it. How am I gonna get all these bikes home? You know? But yeah, they're a lot of fun. You guys are lucky to be down there in that beautiful weather. So yeah, we're gonna be back on Elvin's bike really, really soon. Want to get that bike off my bench. We got Robert's bike. He's been bringing in parts and pieces, sending me stuff. Sent me up his 400 tank, brand new tank, decal. Oh, beautiful! I can't wait to show you guys that. Robert's bike's gonna come out great. And of course, before we get to that, though, we're gonna be working on Dave's 185. Just the weather's been so crazy here. It's been stupid cold. I can't work out in 5-degree weather. I can't. I go out there for a little bit. I shoot some of the video, pause it, come back in, warm up, go back. It's hard. I gotta get some heat out there. I got in the big tent, and we got the DS 100, which is still on the way. I have some parts. Did finally. I ordered parts. Shipping's been crazy. I don't know what the heck's going on at the post office, but we do got some stuff in for that. Like to. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can do that. Definitely can do that. Just a matter of finding all the parts. That's the ticket. Is where do you find the parts? Everything is so expensive, so you have to research it. Get onto the forums. Ask people if they have any parts, pieces, and kicking around because you never know who's got what. There are parts and pieces all over the place. You just got to be patient and you got to see if you can figure out where they are. And they're around. It's just a matter of finding them. Yeah, eBay is a great source. I buy a lot of parts and pieces off of eBay. eBay is an amazing source for parts, and a ton of people are on eBay putting parts on eBay. But check Craigslist motorcycle parts. You're going to see a bunch of Harley Davidson parts. Type in what you're looking for, and it should pop up if they have it. And don't look around other towns close to you. I really don't know if they're the same diameter. I don't have any here to compare them to. Um, Typically, when I'm working on a bike, you know, if I'm gonna like on my bike on the KE 100s, for instance. So I got itchy nose. They're 30 millimeters. So what you're gonna want to do, I'll tell you a trick to find out if they're the same diameter or not. Go online and see if they take the same seals, or if they have a seal with a diameter. It's all part of using your resources. You want to take a look. So you want to compare oranges to apples or apples to oranges. Go online, type in the F7 fork seals, type in the KE 175 fork seals. If they're the same, or they have the diameter, sometimes they post the diameter like 30 millimeter. If it's because don't forget, those fork seals don't just fit Kawasaki's. They fit Suzuki's. They fit all kinds of other crazy things. So make sure either the part numbers line up or they tell you what size it is, and then you can go there. I have a question about my 71 G4 TR. I am missing 3 of the 8. Ooh, that's not good. Let's test it. Oh, okay, hold on 1 second. That's a good price for that manual. $26 for a manual is good. Welcome back. That's good. Good deal. Yeah, that is a good deal. You want to make sure you get those manuals. Those manuals are very important. Those are like the Bible. The um the other thing on that G4 TR you can do is take a micrometer and measure the diameter of that ball bearing. You might be able to buy them. Don't forget, Suzuki uses that same thing on their TS 90s and the TS one was it there? TC, sorry. TC 90s, TC 100s, and TC 125s use that same little gearbox. Chances are it's got the same size ball. So you want to make sure you put those balls in it, because don't run it the way it is, because what will happen is if you run it with missing ball bearings, so the shaft is in the middle and the gear is on it, it'll cock to one side, and then you'll end up ripping the teeth off the gears, and it will be a mess in there. Don't run it. Buy the balls, and you can, like I said, you can get them, measure them out, and get them from a Suzuki. What would I do? The 1978 KM 183. After I clean it up, it is a mint with no issues. Is it a valuable bike? Uh, the Kawasaki the KM 178. So that'll be the blue one. Um, Typically, those bikes right there go for 750 to $800. I mean, they're not really crazy money. Um, it's not like a Z50. Z50 is like 3 times more money than that thing. Um, but they are great little bikes. If you clean it up and the bike is low mileage and it's mint condition, I would ask a little bit more. I'd probably say, hey, I'll take $1,000 for that. Um, I'm cheap when I buy bikes. I paid $100 for my KM 100, and I couldn't sell it. I couldn't bring myself to. I'll be dead and buried, and that bike will still be owned by me. Yeah, $33 for that manual. Yeah, that's about right what they go for. There are 2 sets of. Yep, there is. Yeah, I would make sure you get all 8 ball bearings in there, because 2 things, you're gonna have to take it apart again to fix it correctly. And like I said, if if you don't have that in there, one side's not gonna grip, and it's just not gonna be it's not gonna be good for you. I would definitely put all 8 bearings in there, unless you're only using that one gear that's being, on the driven side. But once again, that thing's gonna be knocking around in there. Those bearings hold it straight, and then when they suck in. So if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna put the actually what it would do is it would kick it in neutral because it has a sleeve on. So you can use four of the bearings on one gear and not use them on the other, but that gear is not going to work. It will not shift into that. So you'll have high and not low, or low and not high, depending upon which way you put them on there. 221 miles is, yeah, I'd probably ask a little bit more at that mileage. I'd probably say, 13, 1400.
I did wipe that. My mom back.
Okay. So, um, what would you put here? All right, not yet, buddy. What would you put here? KH100s are a little bit more desirable because they're rare up here. Um, so on a KH100, if the bike is really nice, I'd probably say between 15 and 1800. In okay condition. I mean, as long as your covers are all on there and the money pots are on there, tail light, marker lights, and headlight, I'd ask 1500 for that easily. Don't worry about the paint, the seat, as long as the seat's all complete and not all, I mean, you can have a couple rips in it, but KH100s are really, really cool bikes. They're they made it's basically a motorcycle, not like a dirt bike like the K100. It's more of a motorcycle. It looks more glamorous. Um, well, here in the States, they don't have tachometers. Does yours have a tachometer? Because some of them did come through with a tachometer, and those ones with a tach are a little bit more money, especially if it's in miles per hour. If it's in miles per hour and has, okay, so it's the regular run of the mill one. Okay, so yeah, I'd probably ask 1500 for that. If it had the tachometer, then I'd probably be asking like 2200, right in that round, because believe it or not, that's harder to do. I put that tach drive setup on my KE102 build because that's going to be running that. Use Kawasaki F1 250. Yeah, that is crazy. That's crazy. But the thing is with that, it's a rare bike, so they think everything associated with that bike is just crazy, and it's not. It's not. Just because the bike is rare doesn't mean the book is rare. And oftentimes, you guys can find these books at go to older libraries. When you go to an older library, sometimes you can find these manuals in the library, and sometimes you can even buy them if the library sells books. Sometimes they do that. You can make them an offer on that. Yeah. But you can use association. So if like you just did the KE100 manual, it's the same bike. So if when you're looking at the bike, once again, you Google search, check out the bike. If it's the same thing, it's going to have pretty much the same specifications. Your points are going to be the same. Your clearances are going to be the same. All that type of stuff. So, the only things that the manual will not cover is probably the electrical is going to be different. Because they're not going to have the same regulators. That one's going to have a rectifier only. One's going to have a voltage regulator with the rectifier built into it. So, it's one of those things where it can go really either way. But definitely get the manual if you can. I always talk about get the manual. Get the manual. If you get the manual, make that the first thing you do whenever you get a bike, buy the manual. And go on Google, print off a picture of your bike. That's like you can tell if the bike's been restored. That means someone took the time for you. Someone already did the homework. When I look at this picture right here, this right here is because somebody already did the work. Somebody who was already in front of me already said, "Okay, all right, I need to restore this bike." I looked at a bunch of them. This part, this part, this part, this part. And then they made their bike 100%, and you could tell by their craftsmanship on how clean the bike is. Then you look at a bike like this, and the bike is clean. And here's how you could tell. You could tell someone who knows what they're doing, someone who doesn't know what they're doing, because this bike right here, you can't really see too well, but has a cone filter. Those are junk, and they put it on a nice bike. They took the time and just painted it, cleaned it, and did all the work. But this picture's actually missing a lot of the small stuff. So, um, and you could tell when I start seeing chrome pod filters, I know that that bike right there, this bike right here, has got a lot of Chinese stuff on it, and I know that the person didn't take the time and do it right. So make sure you look for those hints and those things. I mean, if you see something that doesn't look right, and you could tell Chinese chrome from real chrome, you could tell what do you call it there, knockoff stuff. If a chain guard is supposed to be metal and it's clearly the same looking thing but it's plastic, it's a knockoff. Well, that's good, James. I don't even have that. I got the Haynes manual, and I got that manual because I'm going to talk to you guys about that too in a minute. But I have the Haynes manual and the Climber manual. I use both of them. I keep all that type of stuff. So, when you buy a bike, here's a huge tip for you. Okay, whenever you buy a bike, by any chance, you don't happen to have the repair manual for this bike, do you? Yeah, I think I might have one in upstairs, or I might have one in the shed or in the garage. That's a good thing to ask when you're buying a bike, because half the time, if they own this bike for any amount of time, they've had problems with it. It's inevitable. It happens. They probably wanted to know about tune up, how to do it themselves. They bought the manual. So, and oftentimes, more often than not, they will just throw it in because they're not going to need it. Oh, I'm selling the bike. I don't need. Yeah, I got the manual. Hold on, let me go grab that for you. I think I know where it is. They'll grab the manual, and here you go. Perfect. That's a perk, and that happens. I always ask that question. That is one of my when I'm buying a bike. By any chance, unless it's a parts bike, if they already have the bike and you're buying a parts bike off them because they're all done with all the parts off the bike that they wanted, you're buying a leftover carcass, then you're not going to get a manual. So I don't even ask. But if I'm going to a person and that clearly is the only bike that they have like that, I'll ask, by any chance, do you have a manual for this bike? Oh, yeah, I did. I bought a manual for that. I had a bike one time, gave me the tools, like the tools that he bought to work on the bike. He gave me the manual, a battery charger, all kinds of that 750, the CB 750, gave me all kinds of crazy stuff. But I never get rid of manuals. I keep manuals because you never know what you're going to get for a bike. I have a library of books. I have VT 700. I got the Suzuki Intruders. I mean, you can see I'll do a video on that sometime. I'll show you my collection. I got about 20 books. Yamaha Viragos. I've been doing so many Yamaha Viragos. I actually have 4 manuals for the Virago, and I'd probably sell a few of them, or if I pick up a bike, I'll throw it in with that. Yeah, I don't think they're going to, Larry. There's too much. Yeah, that's a lot of craziness right now. There's too much crazy right now. Once the crazy calms down and we get rolling, I don't think he's going to have another 4 years in there anyway. So, but we'll see how that goes. I don't think everything's going electric. At least I hope not. I'm praying. But we'll go from there. But yeah, always ask for manuals. Always ask for that. What do you call it there? And ask if there's anything that goes with the bike. Sometimes I had another customer, person I asked about. I says, "Hey, would you happen to have anything that goes with the bike?" Oh, I got a manual and I had a cover. That was cool, so I got a cover. Yeah, I know, right? Gas is definitely gonna go up. Um, there's how do I put it? This is why I talk about bringing the bikes back to factory because they're gonna be more efficient. So, and these bikes right here really don't. Our bikes, what do they get? 100 miles to a gallon? You know, I mean, they go quite a ways. You know, it ain't like they're you know running out or anything. You know. I'm tired. Excuse me. It's been a long night, a long day. Well, guys, real quick, I want to bring in a special guest. All right, he is my best buddy and in the whole wide world, and he just started his own YouTube channel. So hold on one second. Hey, Andrew, why don't you come here, please? And you guys have seen him on my videos before. Come on over here and say hi.
Hello.
Come over here, buddy. Sit right over here with me. All right. So this is my son Andrew, and he started his own YouTube channel. Andy, tell him what your channel is.
Um, the name?
Yep, the name of your channel.
Andy Gaming 515.
Andy Gaming 515. So if you guys have little guys who are into video games, you can check that out. We just did a what do you call? I am going to share his channel. On my next video, I'm going to have not this live chat, but on my next one, I'm going to have a what do you call a link to his channel below. So if you guys can give him some love, that will be super awesome. Would really really appreciate that. That'd be awesome. So thank you. All right. So tomorrow night I'll be doing a video on his channel. He does the videos, and I help him out with them. And we're going to be doing Throwback Thursday,
Yep.
which is a
Like tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yep, which is we play video games and
But it's old school.
old school video games. I have original Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games,
But
and stuff like that.
after I do my live chat, he's gonna do a video.
Yep. So we're going to be doing a lot of videos.
But when you do it, we have like to do it together.
Yeah.
You have like your
Yeah.
two strap.
I help him, so but it's all working good, right, buddy?
Yep.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
So, yep, we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff on there. So, I wanted to introduce my special guest. So, yep, one more and we're out. Yep, exactly. No, he's gonna have his own little call sign. We're working on that. So, he's got 2 videos up there right now. So, yeah, he's doing good. He saw me doing my videos. He wanted to start a channel. I said, "What do you want to do it on?" He said, "Video games." He's a gamer, so he's got his Nintendo Switch. He's got the Wii U. He's got the Wii, and I have my original Nintendo collection with over 300 games. So he wants to do that. Actually, I have a video on my collection on my channel. You guys can check that out. Just type in Kevin Berger on Nintendo. I think it'll come up on that. But yeah, it is. There's some we got a lot of games in the house, so he plays a ridiculous amount. So and not he's just really good at it. So pretty cool. So yep, that's another channel for the family. But that one's more kid oriented. So if you guys have kids and they're into that sort of thing, check them out. Man, what a beautiful thing to do. It's a good father son thing, you know. Get him into bikes, get him into games, old school, that sort of thing. So I actually made him a Nintendo Rob the Robot lamp from one of the Rob robots that I had that died. He made a lamp out of it, so which I'll be showing you guys in one of his videos. Should be able to. Yeah, you can go through the gears, but you have to rotate the engine. So the way it is the gears have to mesh into one another. And I get asked this question a lot. Kevin, I can only switch through 1 or 2 gears on my bike, and that's because the teeth literally hit each other. They're not meshing in. So when the gears rotate, they have to mesh in, and then it will be able to shift into gears. You want to make sure you're rotating the engine. So what I would do is I would take the spark plug out, and of course, you have to keep your cover on the because it's all built. But you know how you get that little access cover to your flywheel? Take that cover off so you can put your 14 millimeter on the crank and rotate the crank as you try and go through all the gears. Sounds good, Larry. I'll talk to you later. So yeah, that's how you want to do. You want to rotate the engine as you're going through all the gears because it won't mesh. Um, and you're going to want to make sure you find out which. If you're only using the four ball bearings, you want to make sure you can you know figure out what gear it's going to be in. It's always going to be in neutral. You're welcome. What? Oh yeah, yeah. You might need that. The what do you call it there? Yeah, you want to make sure that that doesn't fail because if that fails, that'll throw you. If that bike that front hub locks up, you're going like Superman. Yeah, you want to definitely keep it in high if that's what you're going to use, and just make sure you lock it in. Yeah, like I said, measure out the bearings, um, and check it against the Suzuki because I know. Oh, the other thing too, um, the G4 TR and the KV 100 are the same motors, so those share the same gearboxes, so that helps you broaden your horizon. Your search there, and then you get your Suzuki's, which the TC 100, TC 90, and the 125 all use the same bearings, I believe. Thank you. My dad left when I was a little kid. So, that's awesome, Liam. That's the. I'm sorry about your father, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can do. All you have to do is put your mind to it, research, use your windows when you're taking bikes apart. I say this all the time. Little boxes, little things. Put the parts in there, label them. The best tool any mechanic can have in their toolbox nowadays, okay? I'll show you what that is. A cell phone. You can literally, if you're taking apart something that's got a bunch of little pieces and you're not really sure how it goes, snap a photo. And then later on, in a few weeks or a month when the parts come in, you're ready to put it back together, you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't have the experience. I haven't built a lot of these. What do I do? Wait a minute. Photo gallery. Hold on. I got this. Okay, that goes there. That goes there. And then you're going to put this thing back together and be like, ah, I did this myself. Seriously, this is a great tool. Google, great tool. These are things that are going to help you along your journey to put these bikes together and get them running properly. Um, and that's why I teach it the way I teach it on the channel because this is the way it's been for decades. Just keep going with that same thing. It works. There's a bearing. Yeah. Yeah. You never know. Take the bearing and match it up. See if they have them, and they'll come over with a micrometer. Oh yeah, I got that bearing. You know. You can also order ball bearings online too on eBay. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Using my channel is a great place to get the information, and it's a great place that I can talk with you guys and help you guys work through these problems. And, you know, I love doing that because I'm keeping these two strokes through this channel on the road. I'm keeping these bikes running, and I'm helping you guys get an experience that you guys never had before. And you're turning around, and I'm proud of you guys. I want you guys to notice I am proud of you. You guys are working on your own bikes with your own two hands. And when you're on that bike and you pull back that throttle and that bike goes, you did it. You did it. You are the guys who fixed your bike. You didn't bring it to a mechanic who has no idea what they did or what they're going to do. They go, oh, that's like a motocross bike. No, it's not a motocross bike. You guys did the research. You guys came here. You learned. You fixed it. You applied it to your bike. You fixed it. You saved yourself money. You made basically money by educating yourself, so schooling, and you're able to do this with your hands. At the end of the day, you now have the rights to say, I fixed my bike. You fixed it? Yes, I did. Period. Okay? Nobody else did it for you. Nobody else came and said, okay, listen, you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to do this. No, you did the research. You fixed the bike. That's the bottom line. So I'm proud of you guys for that and keeping these bikes on the road. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tony. I tried. That's why I'm trying to teach you guys, and I'm trying to, make sure you guys are doing things straight through. Because I mean, I'm teaching you guys right from tire to tire, the top of the handlebars to the ground, peg to peg, straight through the whole bike. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, the BSAs, that's a great bike. The shifter's on the other side. A little confusing, but they are cool looking bikes. I love how round the covers are on that. Just a classic looking bike. Classic looking bike. There's a few people here who like BSAs. Um, I never rode a BSA. I heard they are totally different. Um, and they're just a cool bike. Cool bike. I saw one that had a part in the pistons on the two cylinders. They go up and down together. They're not like our bikes. They're pretty neat. I mean, they're just a really classically cool bike. Really super cool. Um, yeah. Once again, guys, you guys are awesome. You guys are the ones working on these bikes, and I am honored that you guys come here to the channel. The channel is growing. 5,100 subscribers and over 1 million views, or like 1,078 views. I mean, that's amazing to me. And we're only getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to keep going. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, James, I gotta, that'd be awesome. Hey, could you do me a favor and send me a picture of that? I want to see what they look like. That's really cool. I love when you guys do that type of stuff. To my what do you call it there? My email, the handymotorman76 @gmail.com. I really like to see you guys' projects and stuff. It inspires me. I see cool things, lights, the way you guys paint them, just making them your own, and that's really really super cool. I really enjoy that. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So yeah, we got. Oh, jeez. I'm just trying to wrap up what's in my way right now because I have a lot of bikes in the way. I got, I mean, my bikes like the Z50, the DS100. I got to get them out of there. I got to get them put away and evaluate what. So what I do is I take. Here's another thing. When you have a plethora of bikes, James, you must know about this. When you have a lot of bikes, you want to take and put as many parts onto those bikes that you have to get them as complete as you can. This right here allocates those parts to those bikes and clears them out. When you what do you call it there? When you're working on bikes and you got like this bike's apart, that bike's apart, this bike's apart, that bike's apart. Now it can get a little overwhelming. So
Sorry to see this time.
what? What?
I said I want school tomorrow.
No, you have to go to school, buddy. I'm sorry. Um, you have to allocate those parts to those bikes, and you have to evaluate what you got. So we're going to be doing that on a couple bikes. I'm not going to be able to finish the Z50 right off. I mean, I've got a lot of parts coming for it. I got a lot of parts on order for it. But when all those parts come in, I'm going to put them right on that bike, and then those parts are allocated to that bike, and then I'm all set to be able to, you know, evaluate the bike, see where I'm off, write down the parts and pieces needed to finish off the bike, and put that on there. So then as I go, I can order parts and pieces as they come along. Okay, well, you know what I mean. Like I just oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that must be a cool bike. I this is my first Z50 that I have. I've always wanted one since I was a little kid, and I was talking to my buddy Howie Spooner, and he's like, Kevin, you give me that four wheel, I'll give you a couple of them that need a lot of work, but it's a starting point. And one of my other subscribers had donated some parts and pieces to the channel, and was able to help me. What do you call it? There, put it together. I still need parts. I need a tank. I need a seat. I need a chain guard. Um, those are really the primary things that I need, and I got to get some tires. But other than that, trying to get these parts are crazy money, and well, the channel doesn't make a whole lot of money. So at this point yet, we're growing, so it is climbing, but it's not quite there yet. So pretty much all the money that we get from the channel goes into the channel, and whatever's left over, I can live off of, which is not. I'm not working right now, so it makes it a little difficult. But yeah, the parts and pieces for these bikes are crazy money, and crazy hard to find some of them. There's a lot of knockoff stuff out there, so be careful with that. As I've been telling you guys, do your research. That's why I'm pushing research tonight, guys. Make sure you research, because if you don't research, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna miss those little fine details that make the bike complete. So cool. What do you call it there? Tomorrow night, um, excuse me. Tomorrow night I'm working with Andy on his video, and then I'm back on the Z50. The night after, I'll be working on that bike, finishing off with the parts that I have, doing an evaluation on it, and teaching you guys a little bit about that. So we're going to be, that's going to be a really good educational video. I'm going to be working on the bike, a little bit more hands on, and then teaching you guys a little bit how I evaluate a bike and to see where we're at and where it's going to go, which is a huge thing. And this will, my next video that I do on the Z50 is really going to help you understand, how to check a bike to see what's needed and what's not. And it goes a little bit more than basics. And I'll be showing you guys why. That's the thing. A lot of people, when they show you these things I was watching a couple of YouTubers, and I'm like, you're leaving out the why they need that stuff. That's, if you don't know why, then how are you going to know? You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be doing on that. Oh, man. Education, guys. Education. Research. You gotta use your what do you call it? All your resources, your eBay. If you need a place to look up parts, say you like well, actually, on your G4 TR, you can get the part number for those bearings right on Partzilla. There you go. You can go to partzilla.com, type in your year, make, and model, and there is your ball bearings. And then you can go on eBay and type in that part number and see if it pops up. I'm sure someone's got some new old stock ones kicking around, and that's where you can find them. So we're going to be getting into that a little bit more. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that because resources, eBay, Amazon, not so much Amazon, but they do have some stuff. We Partzilla for part numbers. Sometimes they have parts. vintage Kawasaki. You have what do you call it? GTZ garages. You have eBay is the biggest. That's probably the first place you're going to check. Um, Places like that. Rick's Motorcycle. That's another good one. If you have electrical issues or you're working on a motorcycle, they have most likely what you're going to need. And they also have what you call it there places to go. So if you ever worked on a 65 Superhawk, not a 65 Superhawk, no. Um, what do you call it there? Worked on a lot of Nighthawks. What do you call it there? A lot of VTs, a lot of VT cruises. Everything from a 550 to a 700. Um, oh geez. Um, CBs up the wazoo, the CB 900, the CB 1000, the CB 750, 650, 350, 360s, the 400, and the 550s. I worked on a lot of Hondas, a ton of Hondas back in the day, the four strokers, and I'm not a, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a huge Honda motorcycle fan. They are nice, but I don't like their newer liquid cooled stuff. Anything liquid cooled, I kind of stay away from. Um, my last six Hondas all had antifreeze leaks, and it was you can't just take them apart and fix them. You have a lot of work prior to that to do. And I also learned something else about Hondas. They seal their engines with paint, and that drives me nuts. So what I mean by that is I was working on a water pump, pulled it off. I had the little tube that goes into the bottom part of the cylinder. I cleaned it all up, cleaned up the block, and put the new O-rings on, put them on there. That thing leaked until it got hot. I had to heat that motor up just for that thing to expand and get up there. I talked to the guy over at the Honda dealership. He goes, "Yep." He goes, "But what we do is we paint them." Huh? He goes, "Yep, a little bit of paint, just touch it up." He goes, "And it will seal it right up." Oh, okay. I mean, when you're doing a seal, you put the grease around it, you put it on there. You can't paint grease, so I had to wait for the motor to heat up. Once it heated up, it sealed it, and it was fine. But the initial part was kind of crazy. It was weeping. Now, it wasn't leaking like a lot. It was just like a little bit of weep, and you could smell the antifreeze. And it's like, man, I don't really like that too much. Um, all my bikes that I have are air cooled. I like air cooled. My Virago 1100, that's air cooled. Um, I like the simplicity. I don't like having two spark plugs for a two. I don't like having four spark plugs for a two-cylinder motor. I don't like that. I don't like having two ignition modules for a two-cylinder motor. You know, one for one set of coils, one for one set of plugs, and one for another set. I don't like that. Um, I like simplicity. I like to be able to look at my bike and go, "That's what my problem is." I don't want it to be over the top complex with all kinds of stuff you don't need. Like you don't need two ignition modules. You don't need four spark plugs for two cylinders. To me, that's just a bad design. And if you're gonna put air cooling fins on a liquid cooled motor because you don't like the look of the water cooled motor, then don't make it water cooled. Make it air cooled. You know, it's just I like chrome. I'm a chrome guy. I made my bike with a lot of black and a lot of chrome. I don't like color on my bike. My bike is literally black and chrome. That's it. Um, I like some bikes. I like flat black, just just a plain old flat straight black. Looking cool. Some bikes I like different colors. Like they say, green is a bad color for bikes. I saw some metallic green bikes that were just really really cool. It's got like a metallic flake in them. Really really cool looking bike. Really really cool. There's a lot you can. There's so much out there. My bike started off red. It was red, then it was gray, and then now it's black, and now it's black and chrome. And I don't have like we used to have orange directional covers. Now they're clear with orange light bulbs. Um, I have LED tail light, um, but it looks clear. Everything's just. I just like the black and chrome. I like how the bike feels with the forward controls and all that. So there's a lot of cool stuff to it. A real lot of cool stuff. It really depends on how you want to set them up. And everybody has something different. That's what makes these bikes unique. When I built my bike, my Virago started off as a 750, and I got a parts bike, 1100, and so I started pulling the motor off and putting it on my bike. Same motor, they look exactly the same, but one's bigger bore, bigger stroke, the 1100, and then I ended up finding out that the whole thing is different. They look the same, but they're all different. So I had to change my wiring harness. Oh, it was a mess. Yeah, it can definitely be overdone. I saw a bike that was completely chrome. They chromed the tank. Everything on that bike was chrome, except for the seat and the tires. That was it. That was it in the hand grips. Actually, the hand grips were black, but they had chrome. It was too much chrome. It was way too much chrome. I don't even know how you drive that thing in the sunlight with that tank. And I'll tell you, my tank is so black that when the sun hits it, it gets in your eyes. So I had to put a tank bib on my tank to dull it because it was stupid bright. It was crazy. I'm like, oh, that I can't ride this thing like that. Hmm. I, yeah, too much chrome is definitely overdone. Yeah, I have what I call a tank bib. It sits over the tank, and it's got the hole in it for the fuel cap, and it's got a what do you call it there? A Velcro pocket on it, so you can put what do you call it there? Yeah, it's nice. You can keep your registration and stuff in there. But it fits your cell phone. So on my bike, I have a little radio. So I flip the phone upside down, put it backwards in the pocket, and then I can go from my phone to the input on the radio and listen to my radio. Thank you, Ryan, and you're welcome. And I'll see you next week. Perfect. It is getting to that time, guys, where I have to start shutting it down. So I'm gonna head out myself. I just want to say thank you guys very much for hanging out with me on Wheelie Wednesday, and I love doing this, guys. So we call it there. So next week I'll see if I can do a Wheelie Wednesday again. It'll be if I can do the Wheelie Wednesday next week or the Two Stroke Tuesday, it will be in the community, and that's where I like to post the things now in my community. I'll let you guys know what day it's going to be, what time, all that sort of thing. So um, sounds good, James. Thank you, and Houston, thank you. Um, it's once again, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll tell you, it's it's awesome just seeing you guys' stories and watching you guys work on your bikes and do all that type of stuff. So, oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Yeah, the what do you call it there? Yeah, definitely get it going and let me know when you get it going. Yep, I know. I'm getting off right now, buddy. So,
I barely got to clean anything because they have barely
all right.
nothing
Well,
on
let
my
me let
iPad.
me let me sign out here, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. I'm off. Say good night, Andrew.
Good night.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. I am out.
Out.